Some really nice things have happened here over the past couple of weeks that I would like to share with you. First, we received a very special package from Darren over at Tropicaire Homestead. It was literally a food forest in a box. So I will be showing you the contents of that package. I'm also going to share with you just a couple of small harvests and some solutions that I had to incorporate in the garden, as I'm very limited on what I can actually do where we're currently staying. But let me go ahead and show you what we've got going on here. So we removed everything from the box, and this is the box that the seeds and cuttings came in. We received a combination of cuttings as well as seeds. Starting with the seeds, we've got mucuna bean, which I've never heard of. I actually had to look it up, and it's very interesting. Wing bean, roselle, hibiscus, 2 different varieties. We've got 4 different varieties of radish, pigeon peas, cow peas, the beautiful butterfly pea, which I'm so excited about. And then we've got 2 different varieties of ginger here, and African potato mint, which I've never heard of, but after looking it up, I'm super excited to grow them. Over here we have Mexican sunflower. We've got katuk, which I'm so happy to have received this as well. This is amazing, very highly medicinal. And then we've got over here some longevity and Okinawan spinach. Down here we have some sweet potato slips. These are actually purple sweet potatoes, which was also on my to buy list that I can just cross off now. Thank you so much. Here we have chaya, and next to it we've got some cassava or yuca, which is huge in my culture in Puerto Rico. Thank you so much, Darren. What I'm doing here is harvesting some blueberries from my young blueberry plants. I have 2 southern high bushes. One is called Jewel and the other is called Snow Chaser. You'll want to wait until the blueberries are completely blue all around, and then give it a couple more days, maybe 3 to 4 more days after that, so that they turn sweeter and more plump. Now, you'll notice some of them may still have a little bit of purple, like this one here. This one's not quite ready. It may still ripen, but you definitely don't want to pick any that are still green or white, as they will not ripen after you pick them. Here's what I have so far, and we still have some on the bushes that have not ripened yet. I find myself having to water a lot. I have over 70 plants just outside here, and on the other side of the RV what I'm about to show you here is a makeshift quick temporary drip irrigation setup for some of these plants. I currently have 5 of these set up on different plants, but I plan on setting up more. I had to look for a solution to help with the direct watering situation. Plus, the hose that we have that connects to the RV trailer doesn't have that great of water pressure. So I was looking on YouTube, and this is definitely not my idea. I did take this idea from another YouTube account. So what I did here was I took plastic water bottles and I cut open the bottom part of the bottle so that I can just flap it up and pour water in when needed. And then I took sticks from outside. You can use stakes, whatever you have. I try to use the resources that I have around me. So in this case, I used some sticks, same thing with this one over here. And I taped them to the water bottle on both sides. And what I did was I took the top, and I have a sewing kit. So I took the thinnest needle that I have in the sewing kit and took some pliers or a wrench, and I held one side of the needle, and then I placed the pointy side in flame, and then it poked through the top. It was very easy to do. Then I poured water into the top, and it is slowly dripping directly down into the roots. The reason why I'm elevating it with sticks is because if you place this directly in the soil will clog the top. So the sticks just basically elevate it away from the soil so that it can drip nicely. Good thing about this is that I can water less often, and also I don't have to disturb the leaves, because as you know, especially with tomato plants, if you water the leaves, they are susceptible to diseases and yellowing, and we want to prevent that. So it keeps the leaves nice and healthy, happy, and it slowly provides water directly into the roots. Earlier this year, I had 5 pineapple plants, and now I'm down to 2. Now, the other 3 died with the frost that we had, or at least I thought they died, so I kind of gave up on them and removed them from the pots and made room for something else. These 2 I decided to let stay, and already I'm getting new growth here. I did cut off the damaged frost-bitten leaves, and then we've got new growth right up here. Now, on this one, I haven't noticed any new growth, but I'm leaving it because I did notice that it sprouted a little pup here. So I'm waiting for this pup to get a little bit bigger before I remove it and then place it in its own separate container. Hopefully this comes back, or at least forms new growth, but if not, at least we've got this pup over here, and then I can either place this pup in this container or in a separate container, and then kind of just wait and see what happens here. Here we have a little cayenne pepper plant, and I've got 2 of them that are almost ready. This one actually looks like it's ready, and you can harvest them at any point. They'll just get different heat levels, but this one's definitely ready. With my small plants like this, obviously I don't have a big harvest, or I won't get a big harvest. So I just harvest as I go. As I see 1 or 2 ripening, I'll pull it off, or cut it off, and I add them to my freezer bag where I keep all of my other hot peppers. I'll pull 1 pepper out, or maybe cut it in half to incorporate it into a dish, or spice up a soup, something like that. Or I will grab multiple peppers when I need to redo a batch of hot sauce. So that's what I use these for here. So you don't want to pull off the peppers from the plant, you want to cut them off. But because this stem is very thin, I will go ahead and take it off with my nail. Comes off pretty easily. Thank you, Mama. I have this dragon fruit that I've been propping up with a homemade makeshift trellis. However, I'm definitely going to have to find another solution for this, because it is now time for this dragon fruit to sprout its little hairs on the top, where it basically splits into 3s or even more sections at the top, and it starts to sprawl over itself. So right here I have 3 different nodes or sections that have basically formed on the very top, and if I don't do something quickly as far as a proper trellis support, then this may snap or break, or it may not grow properly. So that's my next project. One of my young yellow pear tomato plants are already starting to form little tomatoes. I'm not sure if this double tomato here is, if that's normal or not, but the other ones look like, little pears or teardrops. This one here did its own thing, and that's fine. I've got a mini bell pepper plant here that has several peppers on it. I'm waiting for them to ripen. One of the ají dulce peppers have already formed. I'm waiting for this to ripen as well. Here we have some ground cherries. I have several on this plant here, waiting for these to ripen as well. Have a couple more ground cherry plants. This one really needs to be up potted, and it's already forming fruit, but I don't think it's very happy. You can just tell by the leaves. Whereas this one here is doing really well as the one next to it, which you can see also has several fruit forming on it. My echinacea flower is still doing really good and surprisingly still flowering. I didn't think that it could tolerate this heat, but apparently it can. Got some more tomatoes back there, some different variety of tomatoes, some peppers, basil, more pepper plants, bananas, figs, my prized beauty. This here is a very special type of cactus. I have two larger tomato plants here. I don't know the variety. This was actually gifted to me by one of my neighbors. They were leaving back up north. A lot of these folks here at this RV park come out for the winter time, and then they go back home when it starts to warm up, the snowbirds. So he did gift me two beautiful tomato plants. He said they're larger tomatoes, so let's see how they do out here in Florida. After that blueberry harvest, I still see some here that are ripening. We've got the other, these here are a little behind. This here is my Nantahala raspberry. It started with this one cane right here, and it was about 6 inches tall, and it grew to about 3 feet tall, and then it kind of struggled during the frost that we had over the winter, but it did spread a lot throughout this container. So I have multiple canes growing in here, and one of the really good things about this is that I can use some of these leaves for raspberry leaf tea, which is delicious and very, very good for you. So if you don't already have raspberry growing in your garden, go ahead and get some canes, or at least one cane. Contain it if you don't have a lot of space, and enjoy not only the fruits but the leaves. Back here we have some herbs. We've got sweet potatoes, the Barbados cherry that's coming back very nice, some red lettuce, dandelions, got calendula that is struggling a little bit. It prefers cooler weather or warm weather. It's pretty hot now, it's in the 90s. Seems to still be doing okay. It's flowering still, and every time it flowers I pick it off and then I dry it inside. Got lemon balm that's also kind of struggling. It prefers a little cooler temperatures than what we're currently experiencing right now. Some of the cuttings that were given to me by Tropicaire Homestead are also doing pretty nice. What I did was I added some raw honey to the bottom root part before I planted them inside the soil, and that just acts like a natural rooting hormone, and it gives the plant a better chance at forming the roots and not dying. So right now they're in soil. I'm keeping them in shade, so they're kind of under the RV, and I'm also making sure that the soil stays relatively damp or moist. Back here I have some more cuttings underneath the RV that were also gifted to me, and then back there I have the ginger, two different varieties, and the African potato mint. So they get partial shade, partial sun, just because they're brand new and I don't want to give them full sun exposure and prevent healthy growth. I have my Meyer lemon tree that is in this container, and not very happy. It actually wants to be in the ground, I just know it. So this is one of the trees that I will be planting in ground on the land as soon as possible, most likely the end of May, right before we start to get our constant summer rains. Same thing with these mulberry tree cuttings. They all did really well. They were just sticks when I initially cut them from the mother tree. They have all formed leaves, but they're not very happy. Obviously they're crowded. It's a very small container. They need some space. So I will be planting these in ground as well. Same with my bananas and my fig trees. Within the next couple of months, I'm going to also show you how we are setting up our rainwater harvesting system on the land. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.